Now I want us to look at the exponential curve. You see, this is where we need to collect marks. This graph, that is where we need to collect marks. The exponential graph will do two things. It will either increase or decrease. Again, if you are looking at the exponential graph, guys, let's say this is the standard form. F of x is a times b to the power of x plus p plus q. This is the standard form of an exponential graph. Understand this. This value that is there will give you the asymptote. The exponential graph has the asymptote. It means if I'm given the equation like this and the question says give the equation of the asymptote, then it's a matter of saying y is equal to a k will give us the equation of the asymptote. If you're able to keep the equation of the asymptote, when you are going to draw your graph, that is where you start by using broken lines. So if we are referring to this one, we can see that this -6 here is the asymptote. So to respond to the question which can say give the equation of the asymptote, it's a straightforward question. What I'm going to say, y equal to a -6 will give us the asymptote of that graph. Now, the first question here, they're saying calculate the coordinates of the x and y intercept. Now it's a repetition. How to find the x-intercept? Make y 0. How to find the y-intercept? Make x 0. So for my x-intercept, I'm going to put y as a 0, then work out x. For my y-intercept, I'm going to put x as what? As a 0. Then work out the value of what? Of y. Now let's do the first question and see what is happening. Let's start from the y-intercept. It means I will make my x to be equal to 0. Now let's go to the equation. I am looking for y equals to 3 times 2 to the power of 0 minus 6. Now let us check. What is 2 to the power of 0? That is a 1. It means this is 3 times 1 minus 6, which is minus 3. So what are the coordinates of the y-intercept? They are 0 and the minus 3. What is left now? The x-intercept. For x-intercept, you make y be 0. Now let's go to the equation. Put y as a 0. This should be 0 equals to 3 times 2 to a power of x minus what? A 6. Now let's solve for x. Can move minus 6 abe positive. So necessary no banige manje. 3 times 2 to the power of x, which is a 6. Divide by 3, then you'll be left with 2 times 2 to the power of x, is equals to a 2. Remember, this 2 is the same as 2 to the power of 1, which means x is a 1 because the bases are now the same. You can drop the bases. So what are the coordinates? What is the coordinates of the x-intercept? It should read as what now? 1 and a 0. I know the y-intercept. I know the x-intercept. I know what is my asymptote. Y equal to minus 6 is my asymptote from the equation. Now, can I sketch the graph? Yes. How am I going to sketch the graph? The first thing we are going to do is to draw the asymptote. What is my asymptote? -6. Here, these are the x-axis and these are the y-axis. So where can we find the -6 on y-axis? Obviously, below the x-axis. Then if my y is a -6 here, then I need to use broken lines to indicate the asymptotes. After the asymptote, you plot the point. What is the first point that you plot? 0 and the minus 3. If this is a -6, -3 is above. So we can place a point here and say this one is a -3. Then the other point will say what? 1 and a 0. Where is 1 and a 0? It could be somewhere here. 1. Then it's a matter of joining these points. Then you have an exponential graph. Now, it's very important to know that this graph is increasing for all real values of x. The domain of this graph is x, an element of real numbers. And this graph is increasing for all real values of x, and the graph lies above its asymptote. But now, write down what is the range of f. What is the range of this graph here? Now, pay attention. This is my range. This graph is only found above the asymptote. This is my asymptote. The graph is only found above the asymptote. What it means? It means the range of this graph would say y is greater than. Why am I using greater? Because this graph can only take any value of x, of y, sorry, as long as that y value is above what? A negative 6. Therefore, my range will say y is greater than what? A negative 6. Take note, I'm not using an equal sign. Why am I not saying equals to? Because this graph will never touch the asymptote. Another way of writing this range will be to say y is an element, right? Then what can you say here? You can say curve minus 6, this minus 6, then you say up to infinity, curve bracket. So this is the range, or that is the range. So one, you need to be able to determine the x-intercept, the y-intercept, as well as what? Give the range as well as the asymptote. In some cases, when you are looking for the x-intercept, you might need to make use of the logs, wherein you can write a value that is here, so a value that is here as a prime base. If you can't write that value as a prime base, it will then mean you must use logarithms to find the values of what? Of x.